What's going on, everybody? So the final transfer came in. It's kind of a sad day, but it is what it is. So short and simple, for those of you who don't know, Canada has, effective October 21st, frozen the sale of handguns, legal handguns, not illegal, sorry, just legal handguns in Canada. So you can no longer buy, sell, or trade legally acquired handguns. You can still use them for the time being, but we expect that to change at some point. So, you guys know me, I like my collection videos, things like that. So this is it. Never again are you going to see a new handgun in my collection. I'm not optimistic about the court challenges or any future government reversing it. So it is what it is. But I figured I might as well just post a video of it and let everybody take a look. Do me a favor, keep the comment section clean. I've had a few people mentioning some pretty gnarly things about doing to police officers in the event this goes through. I don't want to hear that. I don't want any part in that. Don't talk to me about that. If you don't like it, get out and vote and hope to God the government overturns what they're doing. But anyways, let's just get right into it. So, first up, we have an FN 509 LS Edge, 9mm. Shadow Systems, that has a TLR1HL on it as well. Shadow Systems DR920 Elite. This is the bronze barrel finish one. I have a Loophole Delta Point Pro I'm going to be putting on this. I couldn't find a Glock when the freeze happened, so I figured I'd get something similar just to have in the collection for to act as a Glock, so to speak. My competition workhorse, the SIG P320 X5, not the X5 Legion. This is a standard X5. I've got the Double Tap Sports extended base plates, just because I use it in between the two guns. Aside from that, the gun's pretty much bone stock. The only thing I've added is the Aimpoint Acro. I believe this is the C2. It is Aimpoint Acro C2, 3.5 MOA. Gun's seen a lot of rounds, probably about 6,000 rounds through that one. SIG P320 AXG Pro Blue. So this is the gun I run in production optics for IPSC, just FYI. This is my standard gun. This is a SIG P320 AXG Pro. Not a lot of mods, or actually very little mods. The only thing I've added is the Armory Craft extended takedown lever, just to act as a thumb rest. Same thing, Double Tap Sports extended base plates. And the lock grips, Veloce or however they pronounce it, palm swell grips. Extremely aggressive grips. They're much, much better than the factory ones. So that's what I run for IPSC standard. Beretta APX 9mm. Pretty much every gun you see, I'll specify the caliber as well. It's a 9mm. Beretta APX 9mm. This is primarily one of my duty roll guns. I do shoot competition with it on occasion, but it's pretty rare. I have shot IPSC production with it a few times. Got the tan grip module. It's still dirty. I haven't cleaned this one lately. Great gun, though. I've got that 3.5 pound striker plunger just to lighten up the trigger a bit. Doesn't have a great trigger. One of my show pieces, Beretta 92FS Inox Brigadier with the lock grips, the Veloce lock grips, and the black and blue coloration. This guy is completely bone stock. I have touched absolutely nothing on this gun. I bought this one just because you don't see the Brigadiers, especially the Inox, very often here in Canada. So I figured if I'm going to get one, I'm going to get this one. Beautiful gun. M9A4 Open. It's an M9A4. I call it the M9A4 Open. A lot of work done to this. So Beretta factory comp muzzle brake with the extended guide rod. Beretta factory takedown lever, the performance takedown lever with the thumb rest. Beretta adjustable magazine release, Extreme S trigger group, so it's got the Extreme S trigger, hammer, sear, trigger bar, the whole work. This guy, very little is bone stock on this thing. It's already a Type G, so it's already got the Type G decocker installed. Beretta factory optic plate with a tan Loophole Delta Point Pro 6 MOA. lock grips. These are the Veloce Palm Swell lock grips. They've just released these. I'm pretty sure I am one of the first people to have bought these. I was waiting for them to finally do the wraparound grips so we could use them on the Vertex style Berettas, and they did not disappoint. And then I've just got the Beretta factory extended rubber base pad. I'm still waiting. It's going to take a couple of months. I have Dawson Precision magwell coming and Dawson Precision extended base plates. So that will be a complete open gun. Over here is my Beretta 92X full size. This is an early generation 92X. Same thing, Extreme S trigger group installed on it. Rubber base pad extensions. If you're wondering why the tan grip's on there, it's actually from the M9A4. I just put it on there just because I like two-tone. I have another set of these coming for this, so this is going to be black again at some point, but I just did it like that. 9mm, those are all 9s. This is my primary, this is my workhorse. I use this for everything. I use this for teaching new shooters, and I use it for IPSC production. Over here, Dan Wesson LASD Specialist. This is one of those, it's from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department Deputy Sheriff's Patrol. These are a contract overrun guns. I figured if I'm going to get a 1911, I'm going to do it right, so I got a Dan Wesson. I've got the lock grips, aluminum gridlock grips. These are probably some of the most aggressive grips I've ever felt in my life. They will shred your hand. And I mean absolutely destroy your hand. But they're, at the same time, they're so comfortable, it's not even right. Other than that, this thing is bone stock. 45 ACP, obviously. And of course, because why not, Magnum Research Desert Eagle, bone stock, and the tungsten Cerakote. And of course, the only caliber it should ever be made. IWI Jericho 941 steel frame, 45 ACP. Nothing much to say about this guy. It's been in the collection forever. And the very last gun I bought, I figured if I'm going to end my handgun collection, I'm going to end it right. H&K P30L, because everybody's got to have an H&K. It was between this or a USP. I figure if I'm only ever going to buy one more handgun, it's going to be a USP, it's going to be an H&K. I went back and forth. Basically the only reason I went for the P30 was the ergonomics. It's a very, very ergonomic gun. So that is my handgun collection. These are all the handguns I'm ever going to own. To answer the question you always get, why don't I own a revolver? I've never liked revolvers. I've never been a fan of revolvers. When I heard that the freeze was happening, I went to the store. I was intent on buying a Colt Python. Somebody beat me to it. So I bought the P30. And what was the other one I bought? No, it wasn't the M9A4. Oh, it was the FN. So those are the last two I bought when I heard the handgun freeze was happening, so. Now, fun fact, all of these guns, with the exception of the H&K, because it's literally brand new, it's only got 50 rounds through it, every one of these guns you see here has had a malfunction of some sort. Every one of these guns, with the exception of the Desert Eagle because the price, has over 1,000 rounds through them. Again, except the H&K because it's brand new. In the comments, I'm going to get you guys involved on this. Which one do you think is the most reliable? So every one of these guns, with the exception of the H&K, so we're just going to ignore that one. Every one of these guns, except one, has had a malfunction. Every one of these guns has had it could be a stovepipe, double feed, failure to go into battery, failure to eject, like whatever the case may be. It's had some type of a malfunction, except one. So if we ignore the HK, in the comment section, which gun, and be honest, which gun do you think was the most reliable? All right. So now that you've done that, the gun that has been the most reliable, and I can't wrap my head around this, was the FN 509 LS Edge. So this gun's got about 1,800 rounds through it. Not a terrible amount, but it has been the most reliable. Every one of these guns has had some sort of a malfunction except that one. And this one, we fed it some of the most disgusting, like it was so cheap the Chinese would call it cheap ammo. All right, that's how cheap this ammo was. That gun ran it just fine. All the rest of these choked on it. except the Desert Eagle, obviously, because you can't buy that kind of ammo for it. But I just find that interesting. Okay, so before I cut the video out, there's actually a part 2. My wife, my beautiful wife, also owns handguns. Now, these are not handguns where they're legally mine that we say are hers. These are legally hers. They are registered to her, and even if we divorce, she gets to keep them, which I'd rather not, but yeah, I mean, you know it is. All right, here we go. The wife's gun collection. 6 Hour P320. This is like the Gen 1 early P320, right after the trigger recall. 9mm. Her band gun, because if she's like, well, if they're banning them, I'm going to buy something. So she, of all the things she bought a Smith & Wesson Model 19 357 Magnum. Did not see that coming. Beretta 92 Elite, oh my good luck, blah, 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 blah. Beretta 92 Brigadier Elite 2. I'm sure you can see why I married her. Is 92 Elite 2, 9mm. This gun actually belonged to a very dear friend of ours, and he's kind of getting out of the sport, so he was selling it. We did not want this to go to somebody else. We wanted this to be kept in our group, so we bought it. CZ Shadow 2. Shadow 2. This is an SPO 1 9mm. This is her first gun she ever got. Let me rephrase that. First gun she ever got, first gun she ever bought. So I gave her this as her first. This used to be mine. I gave it to her as her first gun. This is the first gun that she ever bought. 6 Hour P320 AXG. So these two were her like banned guns. When we found out handguns were getting banned, these are the two that she bought. It's bone stock. All these guns so far are bone stock. Beretta 92 FS Inox. Not bone stock. It's got the Extreme S trigger group, like both the other 92s over there. And the lock grips, the thin lock grips, the Veloce thin grips. All 9mm except the 357. Colt Combat Elite. 1911 45 ACP. Because no collection's complete within a 1911. Or apparently a revolver. And last but not least, a CZ Shadow 2. So this is her primary competition gun. She shoots IPSC production. This is the gun she uses. And that's it, guys. That is every single handgun that we're ever going to own here in Canada. Do me a favor, keep the comment section clean, please. And thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you all next time.